Hello there! Welcome to the old ones of my setting. Today I'm going to be giving you a quick little, look at every single old one. The old ones are a group of entities far better, which basically control realities. You can remember this. So, number one, the first dice, comes from a board game-esque world where there are gods called players. It has this complete probability warping over things such as the quantum probability fields. Essentially, the little probability stuff within all the really small particles that's the true randomness within our universe. That's what this thing has full and total control over. Yes? As shown with its head being an atom and its dice thing. Now, thing I should say is, while all of them come from their own realities, we also cannot truly see what they look like. Yes? Because, effectively, your brain is looking at solid chaos and cannot comprehend it. And so it goes, dice. Yes. And then that's about how you end up even mildly comprehending it, is your brain goes, I don't know what this thing is. Oh wait, dice, that's what randomness is. This thing should look like a dice. Yes? In its original dimension, it was killed, at least primarily, and its bits were scattered everywhere, but it has managed to effectively revive itself in a bit outside of time and space and such, and ended up joining the old one. Old ones. And basically controlling reality for them. Yes. Next we have Order. Order is a being which came from an incredibly deterministic reality in which it was the only sentient being. Yes? Yes, and so does not take to chaos very kindly. Yes? Its main abilities are control over effectively a sea of chains. Now, these chains aren't like normal chains. They're simply solid laws of physics that it happens to be able to control. With them, it can enforce an entire reality to do a particular thing. Even though it came from one dimension, it got moved to another via cluster formation, and ended up joining with that world's worst dictator. Yes, and was even reborn into a semi-mortal host-ish. A divine essence such as this can take root within mortal hosts for a short amount of time. Yes? Which is what it did in order to survive in an, alien world. Yes? And so ended up, of course, becoming just an incredibly bad thing. And actually went against some other, of the incarnations of the old ones at the time. Because, remember, this was all in a time before the old ones really started working together. Yes, and really the only reason it's still around is because its main purpose is to stop realities from ever clustering, and also to make sure that laws of physics continue to work as per normal. It obsesses over order, and effectively, if things get a bit too chaotic, it breaks. Literally, its body shatters into this thing, and it goes a bit mental and a bit violent.
As you can see, I had
now, next we have time. Yet again, it only looks like a clock because that's what your brain thinks of time. It's because it thinks clock, sundial,
so
grandfather clock, digital clock.
So this is the
that's clearly what all
time.
these solid manifestations of time looks like. Yes, definitely. That's something I can make sense of. Not confusing at all.
They
Effectively, due to
reality warping via
so you have the dimensions are separate to timelines.
The timeline aspect of a multiverse.
Yes, but timelines can become dimensions.
Timelines
So effectively, it can help
and
control
timelines that have diverged enough
the
to become
speed at
realities.
which new
Yes, multiple
dimensions
timelines
form
can
by
be in
controlling
one reality.
timelines and such.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes, or
realities
more,
are kind of
or yet again,
large
help
changes.
them from not
Timelines are like
combining
small
together.
little changes.
Because really,
see how
it's
it kind
in
of
the
works
best nature of the old
yes,
ones to
and
never
of course,
have
this being
to
has
use reality
mild
engines.
control
They're kind of
over timelines.
well,
and
it seems
so
like these things have turned into a
variation
cluster. This
within
is an issue.
universes.
We gotta solve this.
As though they
Or this
rarely
thing.
ever
Yes,
help
but they
out
do
with
attempt
the main
to
goal of
stop
most
it
of
in
the
any
old
way they
ones,
can.
and
at least
simply
normally.
spend their time doing
Time comes
whatever
from
task they
a
see fit.
dimension very similar to
It
orders.
to do.
It is a cogwork dimension.
Yes. Also,
Dimension.
I should note the reason
Yes,
why all the
which
old
had
ones kind of look
very
normal is
weird
no
levels of time
most
dilation
them,
and such.
This one,
And
for
as
instance, is
the
an outlier.
well,
Come
crowd
from like their own
only being
realities,
there,
and also
it got
they
some,
don't really look like what we think they look like.
Had an
because
immense amount of power.
they
You see,
are
if you're
just
the only
kinda
thing in a reality, you tend to be incredibly
limitless.
strong.
Because
At that
kind of
point,
going,
you were
what does
created
time
by
look
the
like? Our brain
existence of the
fills in
universe
based off what it
itself,
thinks
and
right now.
so
Goodbye. Hope you have
yeah,
a nice
you're
day.
powerful.
See ya.
Okay, so next we have the reason why the old ones can actually tell when stuff is happening. So first, this thing is essentially the prototype of this. It was met by many of the old ones' previous incarnations. It has full technokinesis and was a computer that lasted 3,000 years, eventually developing a level of sentience. Yes? But also insanity. That's a bit which I took note of. And their implant, which was supposed to keep them sane, entirely failed on, well, keeping them intelligent, and so made them far less intelligent, but did make them more sane, less aggressive, and of course, less you-know-what. You can tell from the expression of this other half. So, the old ones, with this neat little case study which their incarnations had met, decided to instead split the knowledge of the world amongst 8 different beings, called the oracles. Each oracle effectively looks a bit like a spider underneath, but they're incredibly large. Each one is well about the size of a very large building. Yes, you see how there are those little dots because of on the end of the lines because of what brush I used. Yeah, you would be the size of one of those. Why? Because they have to have such large brains to make any of it work. Yes. Now, of course, they constantly have something draped over them for, well, there isn't much of a reason they have it. They just kind of do. It was kind of, they were created that way. Yes, they were created by the holder of the pen. Yes, I think you can tell it kind of what each of their domains are based on what's like written on them. The Infinity one is going to be where the main setting is actually taking place. Terra Infina, which is one of the clusters, which ends up surviving, which I'll have to explain to you when it goes. I cannot wait until I can actually start getting into that part of it. Yeah. And effectively, they stare into the center of existence, which you would be able to think of as a pool full of star-esque things that are the greater realities. Yes, and of course they can see everything, and throughout all time. Yes, that's the reason why they have such large brains, to be able to understand everything, and why there's 8 of them, so that they can stay sane with all that, well, knowledge in their heads, because realistically, think about it, if you were on the
there,
you would
welcome back
not
to
be
this
staying
little
sane,
mini-series
I
by
can
the
promise
old
you
ones
that
of
much.
Terra Infina.
Next
This one in particular
is
called Void.
The oldest
one,
of
of
course,
the Elder
Void, the
Gods.
oldest one of them all.
Elder Gods, sorry, Old Ones. Elder
which
Gods
very
are an
much
entirely different
which
thing.
does fit
that I will have to talk about the title
literally right
title
after
of
this,
these-
and then I can
of this,
actually
well,
get to the
group
interesting
after
stuff.
all.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially seeing that all of these do at least
So,
predate the
when it
the main
comes
reality
to
of the
this one,
setting.
basically it
Yes,
existed before
it
there was any
deeply
realities,
hates
really.
being in
It
existence
was there the moment
with other
when
realities
the first
and
reality
stuff,
was
with
made
realities
and has
and
been
such
eating
as it came
realities ever
before
since.
them,
It
and
is
feels
viscerally
incredibly uncomfortable at all
for it
times.
whenever it is
As previously
well,
stated, it
whenever
is the
there
sole
are
reason why there
realities
is
in
not an
existence.
infinite number of realities,
and so
is
it
because
eats
it has
them.
eaten
Of course,
most
it's being
of them.
kind of limited
Yes,
by the other old ones.
Essentially, the old ones are
Yes,
also basically keeping
and
this
if
thing at
not
bay from
for that,
destroying all
there
realities.
would be no realities. But
And
right now it is
placating
the
it
present
by
reason
just
why
having
there
it
is a
eat finite
clusters
number of
instead.
realities.
It is
Another
the
reason
mother
why
of
with the
all
full-scale reality
the
warping we're going to see
reality
later,
eaters.
that
Yes,
clusters can still happen. There's
and
also
so
this,
yeah, that's
this
the
thing
reason
needs
why
food, or
they
else
exist
it
and why they're
will
so incredibly
brutalize
hungry.
everything.
Basically, just
Yes,
kind of take after their
And
mother.
if it just so happens
They-
to save
yeah, due
the
to,
universes,
its
hey, isn't that a
routine
plus?
consumption
Yes.
of
also
realities
the holder
and
of
such,
pen
especially
quite
the more
literally cannot
chaotic
destroy
ones.
it.
and
Destroy it. It
is
has
a
tried.
random
It has
mass
tried.
of
All of them have
tumor
tried, in fact.
organs
One time when it became
and
particularly
mouths,
restless, they
which
like,
has been
all
covered
tried it
by
once,
a
and
cloak.
still they couldn't
Oh,
kill it because it is
like
a multiversal constant. Yes,
Not exactly a cloak,
it-
really.
like that person in
Yes,
Doctor Who,
As
their
with its,
existence is a fact.
head, that's kind
Yes,
of more
its existence
helmet
is just
that-
a
yeah.
fact.
Remember,
more
you
than
can't really
anything.
comprehend what these things actually look so
Can't
like,
die.
so your brain goes.
Can't. There's no time
Yes,
in
it
which
should
it
look like
hasn't
that.
existed, and
Yes,
there will
it-
be no time in which it does
would be
exist.
like really
Does
weird
exist,
if you look
and
at
there
the
shall be
actual
no
thing, but
point
this one is
ever
kind of
in
more
which
bearable.
it shall ever be
So,
satiated.
hope you've enjoyed it.
from
Hope
its
you
eternal
really like
hunger
the design.
until
Goodbye,
every single
and
thing
yeah,
is
see you next time.
destroyed. Because
Hello
the
there,
existence of
welcome to the
anything makes it
final shot on
deeply
this.
uncomfortable. Yes,
This
that about
little
sum it up.
bit of the,
So,
old ones.
for our
So
final
this one
and,
is
of course,
the holder
most
of the
powerful
pen.
old one,
The most
holder of the
powerful
pen,
old
coming
one,
from
and
Reality
also
Prime,
the
which
de
is
facto
essentially
leader.
our reality.
Yes,
Yes,
they came
it's-
from
but
reality
a bit of a
one.
separate timeline, I guess. Ish.
Basically, it is our
And
Earth. It's
named
this
one because
being's,
well, godhood
this
really
being
started up in the middle of
a
cluster
finite
formation
universe
with
that
this
wasn't
reality.
eaten by void.
They were
at the
actually a
time
normal human, you
to
see.
be in
Well,
existence.
they were a bit weird,
general
but
at all, and
they were a human, and there
effectively,
wasn't anything
it was the
particularly
first
special
everything to go
about
into a
them.
cluster, and of course, it has the first
But now
ever,
they are basically
ever
just
multi-dimensional,
a being at this point,
non-void,
because they managed to get the
being.
pen.
Yes. Okay,
which,
this
despite them
thing-
using it as a pencil,
thing.
a human named that
in the midst of
by
a cluster
effectively
beginning
the
to
oracles,
happen,
which I guess have a bit of a
it
deciding
can
matter in this
happen-
scene that they know
happened
everything.
to stumble
And the fact that
across
it can
a
take a form of
particularly
basically
powerful
anything that
item
will create
known
an
as
image.
the pen.
Yes, be it
Despite
pen, paper,
despite it being able to show up
just
as a
whatever.
pencil,
Yes,
or
and
or
with this they
pencil
can
brush
do
as well as a
full
pen.
scale
Effectively
reality
grants
warping,
the
drawing things into
use the
existence,
holder-
altering reality script,
reality
and
warping,
so much more.
thing
Yes,
where you
it
can
actually
draw
has a
things
script for
into
reality
existence
in which it can
and
change,
rewrite the
change.
script of
yes,
reality.
which is one of the reasons why it is so gosh
with
darn
this,
strong.
this being the holder
Yes,
of the pen,
as you can see, one of
managed
its
to
eyes
start
is
up
hollowed
this
out from something that
foundation of
from the time that Void
multi-dimensional,
tried
incredibly
to eat
powerful
it.
entities
Yes,
in order
well,
to stop.
Hope you
what
enjoyed this
it
particularly
was
long
about
video.
to happen
Goodbye.
to their original universe.
Okay, hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.